Amazon is officially entering the robotaxi race, and that's because their company Zoox is launching their service to the public for the first time ever here in Las Vegas. These vehicles are completely different than anything that you've seen before. There's no steering wheel, no pedals, and it's completely symmetrical with 2 rows of seats that face each other. We're gonna go for a ride in one and see what it's like.
Okay, very cool. All right, first time in a Zoox. This is the first time now that we're opening up the app to the public and letting you go to a bunch of different high-profile destinations in Las Vegas.
Got it. Is the Strip something that's easy for a robotaxi or difficult? Because it's pretty straight road, right? But obviously many cars.
Yeah, it's not that easy actually. You have a lot of traffic. You have people doing strange things. You have, 8 or 9 lanes across. Sometimes you have pedestrians crossing in the hundreds. So for your, perception and prediction and planning systems, you have to be tracking up to hundreds of agents at the same time.
Wow.
That's pretty tricky. We just did a right turn on red, by the way. You probably didn't even notice. That's a good thing. But the vehicle's constantly monitoring 360 degrees and able to do pretty advanced traffic maneuvers.
The key philosophical difference, right, is there's no steering wheel, there's no pedals. In many ways, you guys have started from the ground up, completely new vehicle. Why have you decided to stick with that philosophy throughout this decade of working on this?
We knew that with robotaxis, we could really reimagine the configuration, the architecture of the vehicle, not only for the interior experience, but also for safety and also for redundancy and reliability. You can shoehorn a robotaxi sort of, into something that used to be a car. It's just not an ideal solution. And we wanted to do that hard work and take the time and invest in that and then bring something to market that's just much better than a car.
Out of that parking garage, a car was like coming out pretty fast and the Zoox kind of like swerved a little bit to the left just in case it didn't stop. And so looked like that was a good little maneuver right there.
Yeah, we're pretty good at defensive driving, right? One of the things that's hard about autonomous driving is it's not just you have to follow all the rules, you do, but you also want to make sure if other drivers or other road users are doing weird stuff, that you drive defensively and try to avoid getting into issues caused by whatever they might be doing wrong.
Right.
That actually turns out to probably be a harder problem than not making our own mistakes. We have a huge responsibility to err very strongly on the side of a cautious and safe deployment. So you'll have seen, all of our expansions are done after we've done extensive testing and validation, real world testing, simulations, and you have to do it that way.
The focus on a ride in a Zoox is not really on the road itself. It does seem to be very much internal
and the scenery, right? Because what you lose in the windshield, you more than gain in the side, right? And so you can really just experience the city as more of a tourist rather than a car was very much designed to drive it. We don't want our riders to have to worry about that.
Yeah. How strong is this glass?
It is very strong. We've done an incredible amount of crash testing because, again, no matter how good of a driver the robotaxi is, you can never guarantee that nobody will hit you. If there's something that really doesn't seem right, you can press the emergency pullover button. That's the same thing as pressing this physical button.
Got
here.
it.
Rider ops will immediately get on the line and help figure out what the problem is.
Yeah.
If you have a more general question, maybe not an emergency, there's call Zoox support. Also, will get rider ops on the line.
It's been a few years as well since Amazon acquired the company, and so now this launch is coming. But what does it mean for the relationship with the parent company that you guys are finally hitting the road? And because from the outside, it seems like that robotaxi race between Waymo and Zoox is finally on. But how do you think about that?
Yeah, it's just the beginning, really, right? I mean, we're not trying to overhype this initial launch, right? It's a small launch, limited geofence, limited destinations, and a free service. So we're not trying to say, hey, we've arrived and we're amazing and this is it. We're just saying this is the beginning of being available to the public, and we're excited to expand from there in the coming months and years. We spend a lot of time thinking not only about the safety and the comfort and the rider experience, but also what is that path to profitability? How do we make sure that we can have enough robotaxis without too many humans supporting them that they actually do make economic sense? And that is very much part of our roadmap.
I just took my first Zoox ride and I felt completely safe. I thought the design of the vehicle was really interesting. It wasn't as smooth of a ride as a Waymo. There were some moments that were a little swervy, a little jerky, but as with Waymo, I expect them to continue improving over time. And the next time that I'm back in Las Vegas, I would totally go for another ride with Zoox.
Starting in Las Vegas is probably a good commercial solution for them. They don't have to worry too much about weather. It's relatively flat. You've got a lot of tourists. One of the keys from a commercial standpoint for these types of services is you want to maximize the utilization of the vehicle. People are always on the move in Las Vegas.
After our ride along in Las Vegas, we got to sit down with Zoox CEO Aicha Evans. For the parent company, Amazon, what are their expectations? What's your impression of, perhaps what CEO Andy Jassy is expecting?
They are great parents. It's been 5.5 years, so we're way past the dating period. And their expectations are quite reasonable. One of the things that I feel Amazon doesn't get enough credit for is that it's very good at picking some long-term big bets and actually making them happen. When you're taking on this ambitious of a project, it's good to have folks who have done it in other areas because they have the right questions, they challenge you, but they also support you.
From the moment that it was announced that Amazon was acquiring Zoox, the first thought that I had was, mobile delivery lockers. In a dense urban area, it could pull up to an apartment building, idle there for 5 or 10 minutes, waiting for somebody to come out and get the package.
We designed a robotaxi that is different. When you look at it, it's not a retrofitted car or anything that starts with a retrofitted car. It's really from the ground up around the rider.
A purpose-built design is always going to be cheaper than a retrofit of an existing vehicle. There's a lot of things, a lot of systems on a consumer vehicle that you don't need in an AV. They've done it in a way that minimizes the amount of capital investment and tooling that they have to do.
Can you give us any insight as to just the price of these vehicles, how that compares to a personal car, but also maybe a Waymo?
This is confidential information that we don't really disclose. BOM cost is something that we watch very carefully and manage very carefully. And by BOM, I mean the vehicle, but also all of the electronics and sensors and compute that go into that. We also really look at total cost of operations. We believe we'll be very competitive both from a BOM cost and TCO standpoint.
It's really hard to make money at this. Simply taking a driver out of a taxi or an Uber is not the magic bullet to suddenly turning on profits. The cost model, or at least for the foreseeable future with robotaxis, is a major part of the reason why Ford decided to withdraw their funding of Argo AI and shut down Argo back in 2022. It's a big part of why GM decided to abandon development of robotaxis and take the cruise engineering team and focus it on consumer vehicles. And Waymo has not made money. They're nowhere close to being profitable. Neither is anyone else globally. Zoox is going to have challenges as well. It's probably going to be at least 2030 or maybe later before any of these businesses are actually profitable.
Las Vegas is open, and then we have the wait list on for San Francisco. People can download the app, they get on the wait list. And then we announced Austin, Miami, a little bit later, LA and Atlanta. So essentially expanding in the US. And yes, international expansion, but when we're ready. Our master plan is that you start with ride hailing, but there are a lot of use cases out there that are not served today that we think that the Zoox experience is really well suited for.
With this launch to the public for the first time in Las Vegas, what is Zoox setting out to prove in this phase?
We're setting out to show that, this is real and it's coming to you. And also to learn. There will always be something we didn't think about, or customers will do or think about things we didn't. And so we're looking forward to learning, incorporating that into our foundation, and then scaling more robots, more geofences, more ODDs, more cities.
Do you envision Zoox vehicles ever going past like these geofences that currently exist?
For the foreseeable future, I expect driverless deployments to be geofenced. At the end of the day, we take our responsibility very seriously. We're sending these robots out there to drive amongst humans and making sure that they are safety cleared for an area that we understand and is well studied is really key.
Zoox is launching its service to the public in Las Vegas, and by the end of the year, it will offer its early rider program in San Francisco. To start, it will have 50 robotaxi vehicles across both markets, with plans to expand beyond that.